Hello.
Hi, I'm Kat Ronson.
And I'm Andy Lake.
And welcome to Subculture, the show that sounds like it's about football substitutes, but it's actually about youth trends and emerging music talent.
So put on your shin pads and hop off the bench because this running joke's really gone into extra time.
Coming up today,
we'll be getting a hands-on approach to the art of crafting chocolate by Sophie Jewett of Yok Cocoa House.
Checking out what's hot and what's not in the world of skateboarding culture.
And getting a special acoustic performance from up-and-coming pop sensation Your Casting Call. But first, we're joined on the sofa by the boys themselves. Hi, guys.
Hello, boys.
How's it going?
How are you doing?
How are you?
Very well.
So, you're Will.
Yes.
And you're Joe.
Fantastic.
Apparently so.
Would you
so
like
I've
to
been
say
told.
what you do in the band?
I sing and play guitar.
And I also sing and I also play guitar.
Lovely stuff. And where did the name Your Casting Call come from?
I don't really know. I read it somewhere. I think it was something Simpsons related. I'm not really sure. I think it was on like a playing card or I don't know. We had quite a few sort of names that we were considering.
We were going to go for your bedroom floor.
But then we thought it sounded, yeah.
That's a bit feisty.
But yeah, then we thought it sounded like we had a problem in the area that we shouldn't really discuss.
Right, let's move on.
It
from
kind of
that,
implied things that shouldn't be implied. So
okay,
yeah.
but Your Casting Call is nice and catchy.
Oh, thank you.
So you've done well.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit more about your sound. What sort of influences you've had?
Well, I don't know. I listen to a lot of pop punk and stuff like that. We were in a band previously called Taking Down Sky.
What, just you two, or?
No, me, Hannah, who's the bassist who isn't here today, and Joe. And we were with our friend called Ryan, who's left uni now. So that's kind of why we kind of went on from Taking Down Sky. So we've kind of evolved from there. Yeah.
And bigger and better now.
Yeah. Well, I hope so.
So how long has Your Casting Call been going on for then? When did that start?
About a year.
About a year?
No, less than that.
Less than that? All right.
Oh, arguments.
Yeah. Goodness.
Damn it, Joe. No, yeah, we've been from the start of term. Well, no, the year.
So, Joe, what are your sort of influences about how you play guitar? Who do you?
Well,
Joe
I don't listen to any of the stuff Will listens to.
Oh, so you're quite different.
I'm more of like a sort of Spice Girl sort of guitarist. Just, it's more about the image and looking gorgeous rather than being able to play well.
The musical fusion that goes on.
Put on your sunglasses, Joe.
Okay, do you have a singer that you sort of aspire to sound like, or?
Sort of like, if I sort of name drop, then you guys will be completely baffled. So, a band called Daphne.
Try it.
Daphne Loves Derby. Have you heard of them? Or Derby?
Yes, we have.
I have.
Cartel. Have you heard of that band? Sort of like quite soft, sort of like, I don't know, but sort of poppy sort of thing. I don't know.
Cool.
Like.
Okay, so if we want to come see you, how do we sort of go about that? How do you keep in touch with your fans?
You've got this whole Twitter thing worked out.
Yeah, I've been twittering away.
Are you on that?
Yeah. But Joe doesn't. Joe doesn't have a Twitter thing now. No.
Joe doesn't allow himself to.
So we keep up with you online and look at what events you're doing and sort of keep in touch with you on there.
Yeah. We're on Twitter at YCC_band, and we're also on Facebook.
Okay. Well, we'll keep in touch with you on there. Thank you, guys.
Lovely stuff. Thank you very much. Well, we'll be having a little performance from Will and Joe a little later on in the show.
In the meantime, here's what's happened earlier in the week when we popped down to 50/50, a well-known shop in Bristol, to chat to a few local skaters about the cultural background of skateboarding.
Justin Sydenham. I'm a co-owner of 50/50 here in Bristol with Danny Wainwright. I started skating in the late 80s basically. As soon as I saw skateboarding I was just like, wow, that looks cool, and got a board together. Basically we made a board and shared it with my best friend, and his brother gave us 70s trucks and wheels, and that's how we started. We have a shop team, and I guess I see myself more as the TM these days rather than a member of the team, and organise trips and try and organise those guys to go out and film, shoot photos, and yeah, go to different parks and like, yeah, you know, go to jams and contests and whatnot.
When you see people who are older when they're skating, it just sort of flows and it looks really cool, and you're just starting off and you're just like, I can barely push and I've got to learn all these tricks. But I think once you do learn all the tricks and you go through it, it's so fun.
When I grew up, you saw someone wearing skate shoes, you just like have something in common, you knew they skated. It's definitely like a lifestyle thing, you know, like outside of the shop, I go skating a lot and, you know, just hang out with, yeah, most of my friends are skaters, I guess, who I've met through skateboarding, really.
Yeah, normally, like, a lot of my friends, like, ask me when am I going to upload a new video. It is kind of cool because when I normally go to a different skate park, all the people, like, whisper to their mates that, like, that's the kid on YouTube. When we started skating as kids, like, we were like the outcasts, you know, people used to shout at us and, like, give all the time just because we were, like, had a skateboard and, like, you know. Yeah, and now it's like everybody wants to look like a skater and it's like super cool and there's like streetwear and what, you know. Bristol's got one of the best skate scenes, you know, outside of London, probably the biggest one, and I think 50's contributed a lot to that because there's always a really strong scene here, but there was never any real like focal point for the scene, and now like every day people will come here and like meet up and like, hey, where should we go skate? And you know, that's like the whole point of the shop in the first place was that. And you know, even though we've moved to a bigger store, it still maintains that, which is exactly what we want. People are like, you can guarantee it, if it starts raining in a minute, like 20 people will turn up who are skating Lloyd's or whatever and hang out and watch a video. Never give up, and if you don't land a trick, it doesn't mean you're never going to do it, just keep on trying.
If I wasn't skating, I don't know what I'd be doing, to be honest. I mean, it's just the way, it just fills up my day, and without it, I just really wouldn't know what I'd be doing.
The core Bristol skate scene is really supportive, and you know, we're super stoked for that, and you know, we try and put on as many events and stuff to like give something back to the skate community and support the skaters.
He is so cute.
He's great, isn't he? What a great job they're doing. Can you skateboard?
I could briefly, but not anymore.
Not anymore, that's a shame. I never could. I'm far too gangly and too much of a klutz to do that. But never mind, at the end of that dream. Lovely stuff. Right, now we're joined in the studio by Sophie Jewett of the York Cocoa House. Hello, Sophie.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Wonderful, excellent. So I think chocolate is something that we can all relate to, and a love for chocolate. When did you start your love for chocolate?
When I was probably about 4 or 5 years old, my elder brother was training to be a chef. And I had to be the annoying little sister that copied everything that he did. So if he was making a cake, I had to make a cake. And I think we've got photos of his really perfect Yule log for his homework, and then my little Yule log that kind of looks nothing like his at all. So I kind of really grew up loving chocolate. And a few years ago, I realised how much it had been such a really significant bit of my life. And I started getting annoyed correcting chocolate recipe books. I thought, well, actually, let's go give it a go.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, your Yule log was a lot better than your brother's.
Yeah, he lives in a very hot climate, so he doesn't work with chocolate now. So now I
Okay.
teach him, actually. But yes, it's quite funny.
So when did you actually take the plunge to start making chocolate?
About 4 years ago, I was coming up to a milestone birthday, and I wanted to make sure that I kind of really wanted to see how things could go in a different direction. And I loved making chocolates, and I just did it as a hobby. But then I really wanted to have chocolates that I could use professionally, because I used to organise PR events and things like that, and big celebrations, and nobody would make the chocolates that I wanted. And I thought, this is ridiculous. I'm sure I could make the products if no one else is going to make them for me. So I found that niche and then started giving it a go, and it kind of really has just exploded very rapidly from there.
So the York Cocoa House opened in 2011.
Yep.
Yeah, and you do sort of workshops and special meals there, don't you? Because I've got some friends who went for a meal, and it's entirely chocolate based, isn't it?
Chocolatey salmon even.
Everything is with chocolate. So yeah, everything on our menu is with chocolate. So we have our occasional supper club and dining club. So we have our afternoon teas, everything's with chocolate, and our lunch, it's all with chocolate. So it's not like thick chocolate spread or anything, because that would just be really
Does the tea have chocolate in?
We do have some teas with chocolate in, but we do also have good old Yorkshire tea, so you can't mess with that one. But it really kind of started because so much of what I had learned about chocolate, I taught myself. And I thought, you see chocolatiers and you see chefs talking, and they talk so enthusiastically and passionately, but that's not necessarily makes them the best teachers. And I thought, well, actually, I've taught myself, and many of the things that I've taught myself, I've been growing up on a farm in the middle of nowhere, and so you didn't have access to fancy equipment or fancy ingredients, so I just learnt to make do. And I think that's really, really important, is about encouraging people to have a go tasting something or making something, and not let lack of ingredients or equipment or skills or knowledge really hold them back. Just everyone's got to have a go.
Yeah, and of course chocolate is so important to York with sort of the Terrys and the Rowntrees connections. And the university made a series of plays about York's chocolate history, and you were involved in that, weren't you?
Yeah, that was really great to be involved in some of the interviews and also sort of introducing them. We've got some members of staff at the Cocoa House that have had their long careers working with Terrys, and we hear so many stories on a daily basis of people coming in and telling us their own experiences. And certainly since I started, I used to do a lot of WI talks and would always meet people that had stories to tell about the chocolate industry. So it was really lovely being involved in helping them gather the stories and listen and see the impact that it was having just on the people that were capturing these stories. There's so many things out there to tell. It's really, really lovely that it's that we can share that for the future.
That's fantastic, lovely stuff. Right, we're going to have a little chocolate demonstration session soon, aren't we?
So excited.
But first, we're going to have a little look at what goes on at the York Cocoa House. Doesn't that look delicious? I'm now very jealous because you may have noticed that I'm sitting alone here on the sofa, and that's because Kat has jumped across the room for a very exciting first lesson in how to be a master chocolatier. Take it away.
I'm very excited. So what are we going to be making here today? Chocolate lolly?
Yes, so anybody can join us in the Cocoa House to become a chocolate maker. We taught about 25,000 people in our first year how to work with chocolates. So we thought we'd bring some chocolate along today and you can have a go yourself.
I'm so excited. So we've got some toppings here as well.
Yep, so this is what you're going to be able to put onto your chocolate lollipop, and the whole point is that you can decorate it however you want to.
Oh my goodness.
So it's always really interesting to see how people decorate their lollipop and what that means about them, because you get some that always do a very neat smiley face, some that are very, very precise with decorations, and then there's always somebody that just whacks it all on and it gets really impatient.
I have a feeling I know which way I'm going to go. It's going to be a whack it all on job. Shall we get started then?
Go on then. Okay. So what I've had to do is prepare our chocolate. So we've had to melt it specially, and that's a very special process called tempering the chocolate.
Right.
So we do that at the Cocoa House for everybody. We do have classes where we teach people how to do it, but we've done that for you already.
So what's that? Just
It's about making sure, you can do it in the microwave, but we use a very special tool. we use a hairdryer.
Oh.
So the hairdryer allows us to add just as much heat as we want to the chocolate.
Okay.
And it's really important if you add too much heat to it, which is really common in the microwave.
We've all done that before and it goes all crispy.
Yeah, basically it's the sugar and the milk in it that burns, and it's because you've not stirred it. So you have to temper it, it means you have to add the right amount of heat and movement. So you have to heat it and stir it at the same time.
Cool.
So we've done that already for you. So what we're going to do now is we've got our tray.
Yeah.
And this is going to be our template for our lollipop. But we've just had this one already. Okay. And I'm going to put a splodge of chocolate.
That looks so nice.
Onto our tray.
I'm so excited.
Okay. Now, take the tray in both hands and
just
take the whole tray. Yep. And tap it on the table.
Am I doing a bad job?
Yeah, no, fine. You can tap it more. No, just tap it.
Just tap.
Yes. Right, now the more you tap it, the bigger it's going to become.
Okay. Let's get this
it doesn't
little
actually get any
tappy.
bigger, it's just going to get thinner. That's perfect.
Okay. Right. It doesn't look round.
No. Let's do it that way a little bit.
You're better at it.
No, you're doing a really good job. There we go. Not to worry.
Ooh. Oh, it's nearly perfect.
It is,
I'm quite impressed with that.
So what we can do next is get your lollipop stick.
Okay.
And lie it down from the middle of the chocolate.
Yep.
Perfect.
Oh.
Yep.
And
now just twiddle it over.
Okay.
So it's fully covered.
Can you see that nicely?
Ooh, perfect. Now just lie that stick down. Yeah. So now we've got our chocolate lollipop. And now you can use our toppings.
Ooh.
We've got chocolate beans, or also known as Smarties, so a great York favourite. We've got freeze-dried raspberries, add a little bit of flavour. We've got marshmallows.
Okay.
We've got some chocolate sprinkles. And then these are like Rice Krispies with chocolate on the outside.
I'm definitely going to go for the marshmallows, because that's my favourite thing ever. What's your favourite topping do you sort of go for?
Now, when I go and do this in schools, I always do it with white chocolate and marshmallows, and maybe some of the little Rice Krispie balls, because that's usually my lunch on the way home, and I get to eat that on the way in the car.
Oh my
on the way back.
goodness, this has been amazing. I'm so excited. So how long will this take to set?
So what our chocolate does is it starts to crystallise, and that means it starts to go in a solid structure, and it will start to do that from around the outside, okay? So if we've tempered it properly, it means if we've worked with it properly, it will start to go solid for us.
I can't wait to see it later. Thank you very much, Sophie.
Okay.
Oh my word, I don't know about you, but my tummy is rumbling now. I can't wait to try a bit of that a little bit later on. But I'm afraid that's all we have time for this series of Subculture. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
Playing us out is Will and Joe from Your Casting Call with an acoustic cover of Distance.
That's it from us. See you later. Cheerio.
See you later, thank you.
Almost taste the air where you send me, that's haunting me. You show no signs of knowing that you knocked me clear right off my feet, where the city meets the sand, and where those blue eyes met my starstruck green. Conversation can't run dry when there's a million things to say to you, like distance is a state of mind. When I'm missing you, I'll make you laugh, I'll make you smile. When the ceiling crumbles and you got me running from the starting line, and you got me singing 'cause you still got time to meet again, to meet again, to meet again, to meet again. Oh, oh. Perfect state, I don't know how that day has left me straight. How this pulse or how this plane can't hold this sinking feeling in my gut, where the city meets the sand, and where those blue eyes met my starstruck green. Conversation can't run dry when there's a million things to say to you, like distance as a state of mind. Missing you, I'll make you laugh, I'll make you smile. When the ceiling crumbles and you've got me running from to hit the ground so silently. I ran, and I still will do. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Distance is a state of mind when I'm missing you. Whoa, whoa. Distance is a state of mind when I'm missing you. I'll make you laugh, I'll make you smile when the ceiling crumbles and you got me running through the starry night, and you got me singing, 'cause we still got time to meet again, to meet again, to meet again, to meet again, oh yeah.